It's like watching a baby being born, this YouTuber, because he's just doing... This is the show. Let's make this a show.
Okay.
Because he's just doing TV reviews, right, for like 2 years, and nobody's real. He's probably got like 50,000 followers, something not that great.
Bad, but
and I think he figured out like, I need more. I need some juice. I need some spice on this. So I'm going to do a series about cops and on TV shows. It's going to be like my Copaganda series. Yeah. It's like, okay. Oh, okay.
All right.
Just add social justice. Now you've got 250,000 followers.
Sure. That makes sense.
So we keep saying it's not a political show, but we need to go political. That's what we need to do.
Oh, we need to oomph it up with some political commentary? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we do.
Okay, all right. Well...
So our next book that we're going to read is about a trans Antifa warrior who is
my goodness.
a third Native American, a third... How are there thirds? Actually, it does work out that there's thirds, because if you had... No, because you need... There's only four ancestors to your parents.
Right. Unless
that's part of it. That's another reason why they're non-conforming, is somehow they have three parents genetically.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Is that what was going on in the Enterprise episode?
No,
janitor.
Oh yeah.
Does the baby technically
This isn't a Star Trek show.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, yeah, so let's talk Antifa and this isn't Star Trek. This isn't Star Trek. No.
Get your Star Trek out of my...
a record scratch right there.
Exactly.
So anyway, and the honest, like, the thing is that, like, I only watch videos, well, this is true of everybody, but, like, they have to have a value, you know? And that value could be hearing a guy with 3 chins sit in front of his bookcase and talk for the congratulations, the billionth customer, the billionth time somebody's complained about The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I guess if that has value, you're going to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want something that's going to, like, educate me. And this guy talks about, like, one of his, 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember the name of the channel, so it's not giving him a plug is off the table.
Okay. Well, maybe.
And the moral issue of giving him a plug. But like 3 years ago, he was doing like how to pilot a show. And it's like the pilot of Lost. Now, I know that Lost wasn't quite, what everybody wanted it to be. But that's when Lena had the shimmer in... I just keep remembering the guy from that one video that was in Danielson's video. Sorry. I'm very disjointed tonight. So he just talked about how Lost is, the first episode of Lost is a good pilot. And it's like... I don't... Well, they spent like $12 million on it or something like that. They spent like a lot of money on it. I don't disagree with you, but... It's worthless. That's a worthless thing to say. It's like, you should take the lens cap off the camera when you're going to shoot a TV show. It's like,
right. Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
A pilot has to be good. Yes.
It's not exactly a hot take.
Right.
Yeah.
But look what happened to the show.
It unraveled.
That's the story.
Yeah.
Because all you can do is just go, good pilot, ding, 10-minute video. Like, you could go Patrick Willems on this, bitch, and, like, do a whole season on what happened to Lost.
Yeah, where did they go wrong?
Don't. Because we've done that already.
Yeah, right.
So I just thought it was a weird subject, but now he's doing like he's looking at Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He looked at The Wire. He's looking at Blue Bloods.
Okay,
and how they depict cops, and
interesting.
Even when it's something like The Wire, which you figure like, well, the cops aren't all going to be good. It's like, well, there's a lot of things where people just take a priori that the police are necessary. When they shoot people or whatever, it's like, well, it had it coming, in this sort of like propaganda that we are continually
that's interesting
baptized in.
I guess I kind of would like
that's how propaganda works, right?
Yeah. I think
sometimes
so.
You can just sprinkle it if you don't have a immersion.
Sure, and spread it that way.
I think I meant immersed in is what I meant. I said baptized. That was in the same drawer in my brain as being immersed. Because we are immersed.
We are.
In police positive propaganda.
Yes.
But see, now we're getting into the SJW stuff. But immersion and baptism, that was just like, they were like synonyms or close cousins.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I get it.
Who share 3 genetic parents.
Yes, you share.
Could you, if you were, no, it's not, well, there are people that are who have chimerism, which is when you have...
Two different color eyes?
No, that's heterochromia.
Oh,
although
okay.
it can result from genetic chimerism. It's when you have, more than one distinct set of genetic material, like in you or in your cells.
Okay.
You're probably not going to have it all. Like, you can eat a twin in the womb. That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
You can do all kinds of stuff.
Right. I've heard of that before.
But that person wouldn't pass on that dual parentage through their gametes, though. It would
wouldn't
just be,
think so.
even if you're sperm makers.
Your sperm maker?
It's all technical.
Yeah, right.
We're somehow like 50-50 divided and still operated. Every individual sperm would either be
one or
an
the
A
other.
or a B.
Yeah,
And
right.
so this is a comic book show. We're talking about comics.
I know. The only thing I was thinking, like, maybe how you could have, like, 1/3 is if, like, you had, like... So if you have, like, two sets of grandparents, with the, your parents, right? Like, if like, one of them had some of the same... Not, like, the exact same, but, like, came from, like, a similar, like, background. Like, could you be, like... 1/3 Irish or something like that from, I don't know. Is that possible?
So if you're saying if both your one grandmother and one grandfather
Mm-hmm.
were both 1/6 Irish, their 2/6 would add up to be 1/3, and they would be passing 1/3
But
to you.
but that would be.
You know what it all boils
I
down
don't
to?
know. Math?
It boils down to the diploid. Is that the right word?
I don't know.
The two copies of genetic information in
Yeah.
your cells.
Right.
Gender is a construct and it's not real. But the thing that is real and uncontrovertible until we find some other way to add more or something. For the very last microsecond, it decided to ring. Up to that point, it didn't ring at all. You have two sets of, and it's up.
So
it's on mute.
It's on mute.
So
how did it ring?
How did it ring?
I don't know.
I don't know who it is either. So, back to the. Oh, I think I know who it is.
It's a message.
Back to the thing that I was talking about. You have two sets of genes, in your cells, and they come
Sure.
from your mother and your father,
Sure.
or whatever. And
Right.
so that's how it's determined. So you can't really get. It's from you. You can't really get three sets in there. That doesn't. We don't. That's not how we work.
No. Okay. All right. So that doesn't work. I don't know. All right.
Just Enough Trail Podcast.
Yes.
Host Calvin. Co-host.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana. And we talk
News,
about
fit to cast.
science.
Science
Question mark?
entertainment.
Yeah, right.
That's all the news.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing today. We are, as the year comes to a close and things start to reorganize or something.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but personally, I feel like this is happening to me, and maybe it's also happening to businesses, content creators, and providers who think farther ahead than I do. When they're scheduling their businesses. I feel like we're all just kind of, just wake me when the baby
Just
kills the old
hibernate.
man.
Yeah,
or
right.
however that works. And we'll see what's going on in January.
Yeah, I know.
And all the movies pulled out of November and December and Christmas weekend, and just say, forget it.
Yes.
Forget it.
Yeah.
And now that COVID's back up, all the cities are like, just close down. Everybody just go home. Just watch Netflix. Watch the Holiday. Or what's the one with the... I just say this because I don't know. I have no idea what happens in it. But it's the lesbian one. The lesbian Christmas movie.
I don't...
It's got Kristen Stewart in it.
I got nothing. I don't know.
Type it.
Type it?
Type it into Google. So anyway, like those things, I feel like I've just kind of done the same thing and wound down. But one thing that we can always rely on as good content and things we can talk about on the show is the now vacated movie release slots. The things and times that would have been films had not a worldwide pandemic of plague caused everybody to change their minds about when they should be releasing something. And so for that reason, we are going to talk about a comic book that was the source of the next chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
I assume going forward, because Black Widow is technically like mostly a flashback movie.
Yeah, right.
We're guessing.
Right.
We don't really even know. It seems like we're never gonna know.
I thought we knew. Isn't it like between like the like when Civil War and
Metal Machine Mustache, that's all I know. So anyway, the reason that I bring it up is because on November 6th was the original of this year, was the original release date for the new tentpole. I'm assuming they're going to try to make these guys the new Avengers. Doesn't it kind of feel like that?
Yeah, kind of feels like that.
In a release schedule of tentpoles, this was going to be the highest poll. That's always be the highest poll. That's what my mother told me. It's the Eternals, obviously.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The kind of obscure Marvel property that people don't know much about.
No.
And so we're going to fill you in today and tell you about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do it by reading the 2006 reboot by Neil Gaiman and artist John Romita Jr. Good thing the costumes are already designed.
Wow.
Eternals, a 6-issue miniseries with 7 issues in it.
Yeah, what's up with that?
We'll talk about it.
Okay. All right.
Where they reintroduce... You really want to get to the lesbian movie, I know.
do.
Where they reintroduce the Eternals to the world of Marvel Comics. And I'll tell you right now, it's confusing. We're going to do our best. And just like the Eternals movie, you might not have any idea what's going on. Because I look at the Eternals movie and I don't know what's going on.
I got no idea.
Wasn't there? I think there was a script leaked or something. Wasn't there? There was some big leak at Disney where a bunch of stuff got out. So maybe you could just go read it now. I don't know. But other than that, for a movie that was supposed to come out 3 weeks ago, there have not been a lot of commercials for it.
No. Trailers.
I think this might be good for the film because it seemed like they were sort of rushing to get this done, right? That's what would happen. You would go... You're going to buy in. You have to. Obviously, a lot of the air is taken up with the literal end of Phase 3 and the Marvel Universe as we know it in Endgame, and so on and so forth. But still, a post-credit scene, sneak something in. 2 weeks out, first trailer. We've seen nothing, and the release date has come and gone. So maybe this will give them a little more time to go. Are we sure? Do we have everything? Did we go before we left?
I know. Right. I was looking for trailers online, and there's fake trailers out there.
There's been nothing. Yeah,
they're not real.
And I'll just tell you right now, it will be releasing November of next year. So I say, release something. Just
give us a trailer.
Yeah, just give us a Kamel bicep, and we'll just move on and just
something.
We'll hang on to that bicep.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, tell me about the movie.
It's so lame. It's called Happiest Season.
Happiest Season. That's
what it's called. So there you go.
And people are mad that Kristen Stewart ends up with the other person in the movie.
Oh, who cares?
They think that she should end up with Aubrey Plaza, who's also in the movie though, and has a lot of big gay energy, I guess.
Okay, all right, fine. Do a fanfic. And have them get together in the fanfic.
Movie is kind of a fanfic, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't really know much about it, to be perfectly honest. Probably.
It's just, but it's
just like a Hallmark Christmas movie, except
on Netflix.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
And it's just 2, professional women instead of a overworked woman and a guy who's like an executive, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
And Aubrey Plaza.
Aww.
Who would have been in the straight romance one too, probably. But she's versatile.
I like Aubrey Plaza. You're making a face. You are not decided, huh?
Well, she is versatile for having one thing. She just kind of does one thing,
I guess. Yeah. She's just kind of snarky.
Even when they do we're nuns in the 1300s, it's like, yeah, but let's just play like ourselves, though. Let's just play like we're, people who are looking for their phones. So yeah, she's taken that a long ways.
All right. Okay.
It's admirable.
Yeah. So one of the things that I looked at that was supposedly a trailer for the Eternals, because it said Marvel's Eternals on it, it was some other movie or something. I have no idea.
The Romero Fantastic Four? What was it?
No, it was like something about like people who were in comas and then they got like superpowers, and it's like their bodies were somewhere else, but they had to realize their powers and
Push?
stuff.
Was it Push?
I don't know.
Was Dakota Fanning or Chris Evans in it?
No.
What about Jimon Hunsu?
No, I would have remembered all of those actors.
Okay,
so
what
I
about
got nothing. It was just a bunch of white people.
I Am Number 4. It was I Am Number 4.
Really?
Was Alex Pettifer in it?
I don't know.
I don't know who that is either. I have no idea how I did that. Was Timothy Olyphant in it?
I don't think so. No. No.
At any point...
I don't know.
Did the... No, I gotta know. Did the people look like this?
No.
White people.
No.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, I would have remembered that, but they did not look like white people, but they were another kind of music from a sci-fi thing, white people. So, yeah, I don't know what it was, but what would be the point of that? What would be the point of being all like, this is what this is?
Hits.
To get clicks?
Clicks.
Okay.
Ad revenue.
All right. Geez.
Subscriptions. If you want to subscribe to a liar's YouTube channel.
Right. Some people choose that path.
Maybe we should try that. I don't have a lying channel on YouTube. There. That should put everybody at ease. Let's talk about the news. You like The Crown?
I do like The Crown.
Did you know that the Culture Secretary for the UK has asked Netflix to put a disclaimer on The Crown so people know that it's fiction?
That might be a good idea. I had not heard that.
If I was Netflix, I'd go, sure, put that on there, and then next season, pedophile, blood-drinking werewolves, all the conspiracy, lizard people, all the things that they've ascribed to the British royal family. It's like, all right, you want fiction? Here you go. Here's some fiction.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe
right?
you don't like the hard truth.
I mean, it is fictionalized, but it is based on truth too. So, but it's not completely true. And I've watched videos before, like where they've gone through like a complete season. Like, here are the top 10 things that were not accurate this past season.
Yeah, I think I watched that guy's channel. They did have that scene though. I thought, as far as like historical veracity goes, they had that scene where Prince Andrew got his operation for his not being able to sweat. And they were fixing that.
Oh my god!
So why don't you just butt out, royal family? It could be a lot worse, couldn't it?
It could be so much worse.
Be so much worse
because they honestly they really do make the royal family overall. They come out looking pretty good, I think. I mean, it's not going to be all like roses and stuff like that because that's not compelling to watch, and also it's not even remotely true. So what do you want?
Why is Margaret a gay icon?
Is she?
That's what the think pieces are kicking around right now.
I don't know. I haven't finished watching this season.
Oh.
Okay. I haven't seen that so far. I mean, I have no idea. So I'll have to come back and let you know. So, I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean,
what I want to know is why did that tall, beautiful woman turn into that short, weird woman?
Are you doing your thing?
The recastings really, really get me. Mm-hmm. I guess it has to be done, but how much? No, look at Peggy. Look at Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
They olded her out.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that for Claire Foy or something like that?
It's the decision that they made. I don't know. I don't mind it. It took me a little bit to get used to. It'll probably take me a little bit to get used to, once the next season comes out. But I don't mind it. It's just the decision that they made. So I know how you feel, but I don't know.
Right, but we want to talk about it on the air, though, right? Instead of just you going, yeah, we all know about that. They don't know about that. You and I talk about that, not on the mic. It's too late. We're not going back. The Expanse has been renewed for a 6th season. It will be the final season of the show. The 5th season releases on the 16th of December.
So why is it the final season?
Because I don't know, how far are we going to go with this?
I don't know. Aren't the books still going? Maybe that's
there are 8
part of it.
I think 8 and counting.
But why stop? Because one of
it
your main actors is troublesome? Or...
Because Jeff Bezos, Lord Bezos can be capricious with his attentions, and it's not making money. And plus, how does Amazon even judge that? There's a reason that CBS let Big Bang go 15 years is because it's consistently high in the ratings. People watch it. And CBS doesn't. They have to sell
ad revenue,
Kotex products or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, but Amazon has they have all the money, all the time, everywhere, forever.
Yes.
So how do they even judge? Oh, this is bringing a good lot of money in. This is good.
I don't know. I don't know
name a long-running
that.
Amazon TV program. None. There are none.
I can't think of any, honestly. Well, and then The Expanse didn't even start on Amazon. It was, I can't remember where it was originally. Was it Sci-Fi?
Yeah.
And then they bought it.
Yeah.
They saved it, which I'm thankful for. But
well, it's gonna, instead of just ending with nothing, you're going to get an ending, and it's going to be after 6 years.
Okay,
so
all right.
What do you want?
Well, I guess I'll just be thankful then.
I guess you'll have to.
Yeah.
If you were a fan of the Chappelle Show, you wouldn't be very thankful. You'd be kind of frustrated right now.
Because it ended. Why right now specifically?
Because Dave Chappelle asked Netflix to remove his show from their platform. Because he's mad at another network. He's mad at Viacom CBS, who licensed his show. Now, they own his show. I don't know how it works, but I don't think they have it on their platform. Mm-hmm. But they license it to Netflix to play. Netflix has a deal with Dave Chappelle. He's doing specials for them right now.
Sure.
And he doesn't get any money or this is all his version of it, but he is not getting enough money or
residuals,
benefit from it airing on Netflix. So he asked Netflix to take it down, and they did.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
How much is a special worth, really?
I know. Well, apparently it's worth enough because that they don't want to tarnish.
Right, but I'm not going to go, a new special where a bitter Dave Chappelle complains about how he's not rich enough? I can't wait to sign up for Netflix for that. No, you're going to sign up because they've got Chappelle's show, which you want to watch.
I understand what
because
you're
saying. 45 years old.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So why would they do it? What's the worst? They know that he'll F off to Africa, right? But it can't stop the deal that they've got. They're still showing Chappelle's show. All you did was look. I'm not a big fan of Dave Chappelle. It's clear in this rant, but I'm just saying, as a company, all they did was just kowtow to an unreliable producer who does not produce very often.
No, you're absolutely right, but I think
it's like if Eddie Murphy was mad at you, it's like, what are you going to do? Make a movie on me? No, clearly you're not going to do that. Although he has been working more lately.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe they're kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Maybe they're thinking really big picture, and they don't want to have a reputation for being difficult to work with because they want.
But they are, because they cancel shows like 2 seasons in.
I know. Maybe they're trying to backpedal that as much as possible. I don't know. I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate here. We're thinking about why they would
I think
that.
On the battlefield of PR today, there is no move. There's no Sun Tzu move. There's just doing what people want you to do. That's all you can really do. Mm-hmm. That's why I think that Warner Brothers is in a real bind here, because apparently this, and not internet petitions matter at all or ever have. Bodie McBoatface can tell you that. But apparently 1.5 million people have signed this petition to get Amber Heard out of Aquaman 2.
Right.
And it's whether or not those signatures are real or whether or not there is a single, genuine, clear-headed person in there, and it's not all just a bunch of trolls, fat triple chin trolls living in their mother's basements who are just misogynist and hate her because they love Johnny Depp. Why do we love Johnny Depp? He's been making bad movies for longer than he's been making good ones.
Well,
but
I think we
anyway,
should- yeah,
I think,
right.
but what's the PR move? What's the thing that people want? And CBS is over a barrel because there is like this astroturfed sort of like seemingly grassroots movement that says, we don't want her, get rid of her. But at the same time, like, she didn't do anything wrong according to the law or whatever.
Right.
Also, she's not as big a movie star as Johnny Depp, but they are both movie stars, and you just fired a movie star. Why would you fire another movie star? Sure, why not just complain about every single person that leads every one of our films, Vin Diesel's album sucks. Fire him. Like, they're just going to fire everybody? At some point, they have to go, we're going to keep going forward with the decisions that we already made,
Yeah,
and not just
right.
let anybody tell us what to do. But the move that looks like they should do from a PR perspective is, you're right, we should
Is to
do
fire
this. What are they going to
Yeah.
do? Not see Aquaman?
No, and I mean, I think what you're saying though, it can be dangerous though, right? Because like how like it then if like any
dangerous acceding to terrorist demands? Yes.
yes, in a way, yes.
But
I mean,
that's what Netflix did.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a terrorist who, helped write Charlie Murphy's Hollywood Stories.
Right.
So anyway, I hate it all. And people, just live your lives, all right? I know you're stuck inside, but just
There are more important
switch to
things.
another streaming service of which you've got 12 that you're subscribed to.
Exactly.
Get back to that HBO Max like I did. I had a blessed reunion with HBO Max
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
Just like, imagine, if you could go to an airport, me and HBO Max from either end of a terminal just running towards each other
Gosh,
into each other's arms.
You haven't been able to do that for years now.
Running in an airport? Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, in a terminal, because you can't meet people at gates anymore.
Right. What if we
Yeah.
were both getting off of like different flights and we met each other?
Sure. Yeah.
In the terminal.
Slow motion run towards somebody.
We flew to a neutral city to
Yeah,
meet,
right.
and our jets arrived at the same time.
Right.
Weirdly.
A non-COVID rated city, which becomes overpopulated.
I never
because, like,
did this, and I should have probably. But you ever do the thing where you see a movie, but then you like don't leave the theater and you go into another theater and watch another movie?
I never did. I kind of wish I had. The only thing, I think I've mentioned this before, the only thing I did that was even somewhat remotely like that, a friend of mine was really into Brad Renfro, and
Oh my God.
yeah, I know. And he was in that, what was that movie called now? Gosh, now I can't remember what it was called. It's like it's about pedophiles. It's really horrible. I mean, it's dark. And he's in it, and like he's one of the kids who's getting abused, and now I can't remember what
Sleepers.
it's called. Was it Sleepers?
Yeah.
So she wanted to see that, and we were not old enough to see rated R movies. It was rated R, so we bought tickets to That Thing You Do, and then snuck in to see Sleepers. So that's still
Because you wanted to see the R-rated movie.
because we wanted to see that R-rated movie.
Well, they got their money still, I guess.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
it's probably the worst thing I ever did as a kid. So there you go.
Really? I brought it up because what if you do that with jets? You get off your plane and you're like, okay, thanks, bye. And you're like,
You just
"Oh,
get on another-
another jet.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would have been easier to do that back in the day, but like now it's like, well, you're not
Back in the
on
day, yeah. There's all these stories about like, you're disembarking at LaGuardia and like a child walks off without an accompaniment. It's like, where are you from, little boy?
Yeah.
Cleveland? Like a kid just got on a plane and apparently
what?
a stewardess, and they were called stewardess back then,
Yeah.
just stuffed him full of peanuts and put him in a chair or something like that.
Yeah, what the hell? There was no conversation.
We're not
like,
turning
who are
around
you
for a
meeting,
4-year-old.
or-
Forget
yeah,
it.
I know, right?
People got connections to make.
You got your little airplane wings, like, pin. You're all good.
I got to see, yeah. Did you ever see a cockpit?
No,
Don't do that now.
I flew by myself quite a bit when I was a kid.
Did you?
but
I only did once, and I got
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Wow.
They gave
I'm
me
jealous.
the wings, and we did they gave me food, and then went to the cockpit, and
I got
was asking
wings and
lots of
food,
really,
but
pointed questions about the ailerons and stuff like that. And the pilot's like, "All right, get this kid out of here."
well, that's cool. I wish I had. No,
I'll
my
finish my
my-
whiskey and Jack.
my grandparents lived out of town, and I would fly down to visit them a couple of days before the rest of my family, and spent some time just with my grandparents.
This isn't pop culture.
No.
So we'll move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about COVID closures.
Yay.
Not great.
No.
Disney is going to... They finally... they were holding back the wave this whole time. Why didn't we listen? Why didn't we listen to that mouse? Disney's going to lay off 32,000 people. Mostly
Ouch.
from their theme parks.
Okay.
As that's, the last order, which was basically, no more negotiations. We're just going to close. So they're just going to go to laying off.
Okay. I mean, not great, but honestly, I mean... I'm not judging, but I think if I worked at a theme park this year, I think I would have saw the writing in the wall at least by the summer and started to look for something else. I mean, I think
sure many have.
It's hard if you're a performer, though, right?
No, I think if you're a performer, I know that I'm sure their team members are, or their performers are quote unquote team members or whatever,
right.
and aren't contracted separately. There is not too many details. There is a theme park close to where I live, and the people that sweep up the cotton candy, are on the payroll, but a lot of the performers are independent contractors or are supplied through entertainment companies.
Okay, sure.
I'm sure that the people that put a Doc and Dopey head on or something, work there.
Yeah.
But don't you think those people tend to be probably younger,
yes,
college age?
I do.
Or just out of?
I do.
And so as a younger person, they're probably more willing to or comfortable with, or they're actors.
Yeah.
As an actor, you're like, well, it's time to get out the apron again and start waiting tables.
Right. No, I do think that there is a lot of truth to that, and I it's hard to. I mean, I'm sure that there are, but it's hard to imagine somebody who's older, bitter, putting on a dopey head and
well, you
still
never know.
Doing it,
you
but
never know.
Yeah, you never know. I'm just imagining somebody trying to smoke through a dopey mouth.
I mean, the kid that gave you the funnel cake last time. How old were they? Was it
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it your one, cigarette in one hand?
Yeah, right.
Churro in the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't mix them up. I don't know. Germany cinemas are closed, and they will remain closed until at least the 20th.
Okay.
2 weeks out from the end of the year.
Sure. Maybe just have it to the end of the year at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people are I think there's a lot of hope that things are going to open up by Christmas. I really feel that. You know what I mean?
Everybody wants a vaccination under the tree.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll see about that. It also looks like Godzilla versus King Kong is probably going to be the next movie that goes straight to video on demand.
Okay. All right.
Did you know they were making one of those?
I did not.
Who are these for? Who are these for?
I don't honestly know.
They've had maybe 3 of them now.
And there are people who are huge kaiju fans, but I honestly...
no, I'm a Godzilla fan. But
yeah.
I'm just not really...
I don't know if that's who these are for, though.
For fans? Or for fans who don't want... They're for fans who want to see movies, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's what being a fan is, yes. I just don't... They don't have... There's nothing compelling about it to me. And also there's the extra added thing of I don't like people nakedly trying to draw me into some kind of scheme. And that's it. You're just trying to make Monster Avenger films, and I don't want to join you in this endeavor.
Is that what this film is? Is it?
Yeah, they had the prequel one on the Skull Island or whatever,
yeah.
And then they had Godzilla, and then Godzilla's fighting other monsters in another one, and now we've worked our way up to Godzilla versus King Kong. But I'm sure that they will fight it first and then team up against...
That's what I was
Rodan
imagining.
That's
what I was
think
imagining.
And
then Rodan will join the team, and then they'll all join up and fight against Mothra, and then Mothra will join the team, and then who is
the inveterably evil monster?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, but here's an easy fix: the mecha versions of all those monsters. So they go up against Mecha Godzilla, Mecha Mothra. The robot evil doubles.
Is there a human piloting the mechas?
They're
or
robots.
They're just robots?
Yeah.
Okay. They're sentient
This isn't
robots.
Sentai. This is kaiju.
I know.
I'm ashamed.
Sorry. Is there like who is the Nick Fury of the kaiju? Is there a Nick Fury figure?
I don't watch those movies. Is Ken Watanabe?
I don't know. Maybe.
Let Them Fight guy?
Yeah.
Or wasn't Friday Night Lights who was in the last one?
Probably. I don't know.
Isn't 11? Isn't she?
Yeah, she was in the last one.
Doesn't she control them or something? Or is it Anne Hathaway?
No, I don't know the answer to any of these questions.
Let's stop talking about it.
Okay.
Guess what else is going on?
What?
It looks like okay. So let's talk about this leak. I did track down that leak information.
Oh, okay.
And nobody knows if it's a quote unquote leak or not. It's one of those like grainy sideways videos of video package that has information in it
For the Eternals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nobody is exactly sure where this could have come from. Like, I'm sure that they do. It's not a con. I'm sure that they get investors together, or other business associates.
Sure.
And there's probably so many of them that you put them in a conference room, with champagne or something like that.
Sure.
And you show it on a video. And it's probably a lot like Hall H. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they work with a lot of people. But it has that feel. And nobody can figure out if this is real or if it's a faked kind of thing.
Okay.
But so here's some of the information. This is all grain of salt type information.
Yeah.
But it says that The Falcon and the Winter Soldier will roll out August 13th is when it...
2021.
Yes, when the first episode will air.
Okay.
They also talked about a Premiere Access streaming launch for the Black Widow movie on April 16th. So that'll be like I don't know if that'll be a simultaneous VOD theater thing, but you can get it early on April 16th.
Yeah, I think it comes out in theaters sometime in May, right? I think so.
Well, that's what they said.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, okay.
And it also talked about launching a 18+ component to Disney Plus. So adding Disney Plus nights.
What?
With stuff like Deadpool, Logan, and I mean... other Fox stuff that they were thinking about sending to Hulu.
All right.
But Hulu is just, we're just packing it up with Hulu, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. They want to have it displayed somewhere, and if they can charge you something else.
Apparently the video closes with the phrase, everything comes home. So they're thinking that's, the whole like adult, R-rated part of Disney Plus is a way to that's their effort to get the R-rated Fox stuff and everything, onto Disney Plus.
Probably also a way for them to get other viewers, because I know some people are like, well, I don't have kids. Maybe I'm a Disney fan, but I own what I really like, or you know what I mean? Uh-huh. So I don't know.
And it also said that that'll be April 2021 as well. Although there is a contradiction, or seeming one, in that they announced that Kingsman: The Secret Service will be streaming on March 5th on the platform, and that is rated R.
Yeah, how does that work? Because I thought everything on Disney Plus was PG-13 or less. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and
I
see.
guess we'll know.
Yeah.
April of next year.
Yeah. So.
What else is happening here in the news? About that Choose Your Own Adventure lawsuit?
Yes. I had heard about that.
The Choose Your Own Adventure company or brand, literally called ChooseCo.
Very creative, guys.
Sued Netflix last year over Bandersnatch,
yes.
Which I'm not sure what the actual contention was, because why aren't they suing the Boss Baby? Like what? I think it's specifically the use of the phrase Choose Your Own Adventure. Yes. Well, Netflix has settled for an undisclosed amount with them.
Okay. All right. Fine.
So we're going to see something from ChooseCo, huh?
I guess. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do. But
the ChooseCo universe, extended universe.
Oh my goodness. You choose with ChooseCo. But I mean, I get it, right? Because they're
like
a
train company.
It does. You're capitalizing on their brand, right? And their brand recognizability. So I totally get where they're coming from. But I guess I'm a little surprised that they decided to settle, but maybe they just decided this is just gonna drag out, and this is just gonna be bad for business. So let's just take care of it.
Well, I guess. I mean, it depends on what the judge thinks and the venue and these intellectual property suits. There's just very little. It's all maneuvering, and there's very little quote unquote justice. But then again, that's the nature of IP. How can you own an idea? I think I would argue that you can't. It's impossible. Try to grab it. Oh, it's slippery. Oh, I can't get my hands around it.
I know, right?
Also, it's inside my head. But we do, we have copyright for that reason.
Yeah.
And so usually you'd think it was meant to protect like somebody who comes up with something and then a company tries to steal it, right?
Yes.
And I guess that's what happened here.
Yeah.
Only it's two companies, one of whom is smaller, so I guess is therefore the underdog.
Yes.
And the underdog won. So what's the problem?
Yeah, right, exactly. There you go. Happy ending, I guess.
Kind of seems like not a lot going on with Chusco, though, right now. So
no.
That's kind of also... Chusco now can go for another 90 years and do nothing with Choose Your Own Adventure, and then there'll be another suit, I guess, right?
Yeah,
because copyright terms are way too long.
Yeah, right.
So who knows? Let's talk about what's going on TV.
What is going on with TV?
HBO has parted ways with Joss Whedon over their show in development, The Nevers, which has been in development for a long time.
Oh boy. Well, my guess is this is probably has to do with the Justice League thing that's going on. Don't you
really?
think? Yeah.
Did you want to hear what Joss Whedon had to say about it?
Yeah, tell me what Joss Whedon had to say about it.
This year of unprecedented challenges has impacted my life and perspective in ways I could have never imagined. He just goes on for a long time, but he says, I'm exhausted.
Okay. Thanks for that look into your life, Joss.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In 9 lines, he uses the word I 9 times. So that's, we confirmed. This is from Joss Whedon.
Oh my gosh.
This is just another sort of brick in the wall of, just bricking him in with the Amontillado at this point, right?
This is not good.
Yeah, I think we're probably quit of this guy, right? It's too bad. I wish I'd actually watched Buffy before Joss Whedon was revealed to be just not only a creep, but just like a bad person to work with, and a megalomaniac, and a guy who just like turns HBO clearly going, because HBO's statement was, we have parted ways with Joss Whedon.
And that was it.
Well, we remain excited about the future of the Nevers. Like, they own the property, so they're still going to develop it without him. And then he's like, I'm exhausted. It's like, okay, so who'd you goose on the set? Like, what happened?
Oh, my God.
This is two professionals going, all right, game, not respect game, but also why would we blow each other's spots up? So you're out, and then you can write whatever you want, but don't write something bad.
Right.
This was going to be a Victorian show, like a Victorian X-Men, I guess, starring Laura Donnelly and Olivia Williams, and it would be like Victorian women in England with like X-Men powers.
That sounds interesting.
Sounds like we just kind of spun the wheel, and they landed on this. But you could do something with it.
Yeah, it could be good.
But we don't want him anywhere near that, do we?
No.
What if they talk like actual women instead of Joss women?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get that.
Get a female head writer.
Maybe we'll
something
get that.
like that. Yeah.
We'll see. What else is happening? It looks like Amazon has canceled Utopia after 1 season.
Well, I got to be honest. A couple of things. So watched the British version. Really liked the first season. Kind of got lost in the second season. Remembered hearing about like that they were doing
2013.
Yeah, right, a while ago now.
Yep.
Remember hearing that they were going to do an American version. Thought why, but they do American versions of a lot of British shows.
Generally not ones that just fall apart and leave the air. Like,
well, that's
is that
true.
A sign of maybe this is not an idea that you should put 7 years into?
Yeah, right.
Or is it like a chance for them to pick
better.
up the torch and go somewhere that the other show didn't go? Also, when David Fincher goes, I'm good. I'm going to go do something else. It's like,
that's a bad sign.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson is in this. That's a bad sign.
Yep.
Sorry, Rainn.
Sorry, Rainn. But yeah, I remember hearing people talk about it and be like, oh my God, like when it first aired earlier this year, and then I heard nothing. Yeah. So I was like, I actually already forgot about it, that it came out, until you just said something just now. So there you go. So doesn't surprise me.
I mean, me either. But do you think Amazon could just watch for 7 years as nothing happens with this and just go keep writing checks? I guess.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's not good.
No.
Amazon TV, man. Let's talk about Peacock TV.
Uh-oh.
Peacock TV has had to issue an apology to Selena Gomez after their Saved by the Bell reboot made fun of her kidney transplant.
This, like, you first told me about this off the air, and I was like, what? First of all, like, why would you make fun of a kidney transplant? That's my first thing. And then second of all, like...
That's punching sideways into the kidney of someone.
I just don't... It just, like, it's like making fun of somebody who has cancer. Well, maybe it's not quite the same thing, but it's almost on the level of, like, cancer.
Who is it?
Yeah.
I can make fun of somebody with cancer.
Okay. Well, but it's
what
just
kind of cancer and who is it?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. But she's not, like, I don't know. I totally understand. Like, and then you shared the jokes with me, the quote unquote.
Yeah, I won't share them here.
They're not funny.
No, and they don't really make any sense. They're not like even really jokes.
So why even go there?
Yeah.
Why are you
make a good joke that's bad, and then put me in a moral quandary over like whether it's okay to joke about that.
Right. Yeah.
But these aren't even jokes.
Yes.
Like you just don't. You swung and you missed, but you were in the parking lot. You're not even in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of stadiums, did you know a bit of sports news?
What?
Sarah Fuller is a kicker for the Vanderbilt college football team. It's doing great so far in my telling of the story.
Uh-huh.
She just made football history by playing in a college football game.
Oh, okay. First female player to do that?
NCAA college football game. Yep. She I think she's just a kickoffer.
Okay.
If she's a punter, cool. I apologize.
That's neat. I personally wouldn't want to do that, but good for her. And break those glass ceilings all over the place. That's what I say. Maybe that's meant more for like business, but whatever.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will become a trend.
I think it might. She
did do something kicking related before. I know that doesn't tell you anything. Look, it's a sports. I didn't study up on this story. I don't know.
Okay.
But she was play soccer or something like that. So
okay. All right, sure. Just something with track and field that's kicking related.
No, you're not supposed to like really tackle the kicker.
No.
But do you think like somebody's going to light her up?
That's what I would be worried about. Because
they're
honestly.
sexist.
Yeah. See, that's why I would just be like, no, I'll just not play football. But maybe that's me thinking too small. I don't know.
There are some male kickers that I'd like to see lit up.
Yeah, right. So there you go.
Who play for my team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, look, we'll take a girl.
Yeah, right.
At this point.
Can they kick?
We need a kicker.
That's what we need to know.
Yeah.
Just answer one question.
Hit the field goals.
Yeah, right.
I don't care if you're a boy or a girl.
Yeah, right.
Bring
exactly.
it on. So who knows? I don't know. I can just see like this becoming like a thing, and like, you can pay them less, right? And so there's that.
Great. Can't believe you just said that.
Save a little money on the cap.
All right.
No, I mean, no, this is great. This is a cool thing, but
yeah,
I'm sure lots of other people have more powerful opinions than we do about it.
Probably.
A couple more stories. Alex Garland's next project is going to be a low-budget horror film set in the United Kingdom. And nope, it is 2020, so I don't know what's going on.
Is he just going back to what he feels comfortable doing? Or, I mean, is that the direction you want your career to go in?
I feel like he's doing okay, right?
I feel like he is.
Like Ex Machina was well regarded, and I can't remember what he did after that. But it just feels like what year is it?
Was he involved with, why do I keep forgetting the name of it? The Charlize Theron Netflix film that we watched that came out this year. Was he
The Old Guard?
Yeah, was he involved with that? I want to say he was involved with that, but I don't remember 100%. That's what I want to say. Anyways, I mean, yeah, it seemed like he was doing really well. People were really enjoyed working with him, and
did they?
I don't know.
They put 5 stars.
Yeah, right.
In the app.
Yeah, right. Would work with again. I don't know.
Clearly you don't. I just imagine, what if you once somehow we know, time machine maybe, that you've reached the top of your career. You know, you are Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls.
Right.
And everything else is going to be on the downhill.
Yeah.
So the downhill should be designed to be almost exactly like your uphill. So right about now, she should be starring in Parent Trap 2. But instead, but she's not. She is she's twins, and she's married to 2 men who her kids have to get her back together with both her and her, but with their husbands. It's a double Parent Trap.
But they get the moms confused or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
There was a Triple Trap. ABC did a series of Parent Trap movies that had Haley Mills in them, and her kids, she had triplets. So there were identical triplets who were also involved in trapping.
Oh my
and
God.
Snapping.
It just makes my head want to explode.
Or if are we at the point where, Steven Spielberg, you got to reboot E.T.
Yeah, right.
You have to. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
The Reese's representative will be in to talk to you.
Yeah, right.
Let's do just one more story.
Okay.
So, do you know who Uri Geller is? Of course not.
No, I don't.
Uri Geller is a magician, but he's he does magic tricks, but it's I'm a hypnotist. I'm a mesmerist. The power of this isn't Job Bluth type stuff, right?
Right.
Well, he sued Pokemon, the creators of Pokemon, which is Nintendo, I guess. But Nintendo, right? It's Nintendo.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's a Nintendo. 20 years ago, because the Pokemon Kadabra, he claimed, was based on him.
What?
Now, Kadabra is a big dick bee looking monster, and he holds a spoon, and Uri Geller's one of his most famous tricks is bending a spoon. He spends spoons. So he said, "That's you're doing me."
Okay.
And in response, Nintendo was like, "No more Kadabra. We got thousands of Pokemon. We don't have to do that." So Kadabra has not been seen in materials since 2003.
Oh, has he come back recently?
He is.
Oh no!
And Uri Geller tweeted, "I'm truly sorry for what I did 20 years ago. Kids and grown-ups, I am releasing the ban. It's now all up to Nintendo to bring my Kadabra Pokemon card back. My Kadabra Pokemon card back. It will probably be one of the rarest cards now." They should bring it back.
Wow.
And give it 0. I don't know anything about Pokemon. 0 stats. Make it
make it the crappiest card
it faints
ever.
right away or whatever.
Oh my God! Wow, I can't believe the gall of this guy. My Pokemon card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
I sent a letter to the chairman of Nintendo giving them permission to relaunch the Uri Geller Kadabra Young Geller worldwide. I guess Young Geller is another name for it or an evolution or something. Anyway.
Okay. Can you just imagine that Pokemon board meeting? All these Japanese businessmen talking about it. Do you think they laughed?
The worst thing is that this helped no one because Nintendo's like, whatever. So they just stopped using that character.
Yeah.
So Geller never got a dime off of it. Mm-hmm. Nintendo never got a dime off of it. Just money, however much money you can get for young Geller,
single Pokemon,
sat on the table for 20 years.
Yeah.
This hurt everybody.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of some way that you could exploit this. Vin Diesel's That Pokemon's bald. That's supposed to be me. Stop it. But he's smarter than that. And he would find some, like, Street Sharks way to, like, get in there and, like, do a Fast and the Furious Pokemon collaboration.
Oh, he totally would. He'd be so on board for something like that.
It'd be Poke Drive.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Like, Pikachu, they've all got cars that are, suited to their element.
Right. And
Pikachu's driving an electric Corvette or something.
Sure. And his Pokemon would have, like, a big family.
What?
Because he's all about family.
So it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. Yes.
You're my family, Pikachu.
Yeah, right.
Now get out there and beat that other animal to death.
I know.
I want to say real quick that we want to wish a fond farewell to David Prowse, the actor behind the body of Darth Vader, who has died at 85.
Yeah.
And what a body he was. He was actor and a stuntman, but he was also a bodybuilder. Yeah, and that classic 60s and 70s body, not the roided out Lou Ferrigno type situation, but just like tall, broad shoulders, and it's that's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I know. I guess he was like 6'6".
Yeah,
very tall. Very imposing, but I guess I was reading about him. They're like his accent, not imposing. So
well, that was kind of the thing that kept him out of being really an actor. Is apparently he just doesn't. He's got a accent that's kind of fun, but maybe not a villain's accent. And I don't know if he could really act or not. But
yeah, right. Well, that's all good. God, what else did he do? He was like a bodyguard and something something that we've watched recently, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad I mentioned it. Anyways,
Rocky? Was he one of the bodyguards in Rocky?
No.
A James Bond movie, perhaps?
It might have been a James Bond movie. Gosh, now I don't remember. This is fantastic.
Thanks for bringing it up.
I know.
What a fitting tribute to
let
the
me
work of
look it up.
Mr. Prowse.
Let me look him up.
No, we don't look things up. We never look things up.
Okay.
Do you think that, what do they lift in Britain? Just like bags of tea?
Sticky puddings. I don't know.
Fantastic beings living on Earth since prehistoric times, mistaken by men for gods, locked in a war with an endless army of demonic foes.
Yes.
And above it all, the Celestials look down silently. The Eternals were created by Jack Kirby in 1976 for Marvel Comics.
Yes.
Because he got pissed off and left Marvel, went to DC.
He did do
and
that.
created the New Gods, and DC
Yes.
canceled it, so he got pissed off and came back to Marvel and created the Eternals.
I'm seeing a
which
pattern.
are a lot like the New Gods.
Yes.
And the Eternals, yes, have existed through retcon throughout the entirety of the Marvel Universe, at least for a lot of it. Created by the Celestials, themselves unknowable beings from space, who came to Earth and created both the Deviants and the Eternals at the same time.
Yes.
To do something. And that something has changed based on whoever is trying to reboot the Eternals.
That sounds about right.
Over the years and years.
Yeah.
But initially, it was just about experimentation. In fact, the Kree and the Skrull also have Eternals and Deviants.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Which is, I mean, I guess the Celestials can go wherever they want, but it's funny that like there's a Skrull. The Skrulls, I think, come from a planet in our galaxy. The Kree come from like another galaxy.
Okay.
And so
That's weird.
Yeah, I guess maybe the Celestials just go to every planet that has life and just mess around with it.
We know Galactus just likes traveling all over the place, so.
Well, he just gets out his app and he goes.
You mean his Silver Surfer app, and he's like, okay, go forth. And
Yeah, Planet Hub.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I could go for. Is there an Italian planet?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and so depending on the writer and the background, a lot of times the Celestials and their tampering with humanity is cited as the reason for humanity's superheroes. Other planets have superheroes. I suppose there's a Kree Spider-Man or something like that.
Sure, why not? I guess.
But
yeah, that's not totally explored.
But it's used to explain, like you have to explain a comic book, like why humanity has so many superheroes, and part of that is supposedly because of the Celestials tampering with humanity.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. There's so much going on in this. I mean, I guess one thing that I thought when I first was like looking at the art, and I know like just reading about it that like they tried their best to, while putting their own spin on it. And I'm talking about Neil Gaiman and John Romita Jr. are, also honor Kirby's initial creation. And so I think, like you kind of mentioned before, like all the costumes are more or less the same design as what Kirby came up with, and they have a very, very similar look to the New Gods. And I immediately was like, okay, Kirby created the New Gods, right? And I had to double check. But
do you think Chloe Zhao and Ava DuVernay call each other and they're just like, are you, I think I got your mail?
Maybe. I feel like even in talking about those films, I feel like we've gotten like confused over like which one of them is directing which film before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised,
Well, the thing about, and this might tell you something about the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe, just generally, but the thing about the New Gods is that they remain, for the most part, pretty separate from the rest of the DC Universe.
Yeah, they're kind of off on their own thing.
Yeah, and pretty much the biggest transplant from the New Gods is like, Darkseid.
Yes.
Will mess with Superman
exactly.
or whatever. But Kirby created the Eternals in 1976. Before that, actually way before that, in the 1950s, Stan Lee created the Uranians, which were these originally were like weird extraterrestrials that had lived on Uranus, had like a colony there. And I don't know. It was the 50s, so like the Avengers weren't around. He created Groot in the 50s. Like a lot of like these are just one-shot sort of anthology books, weird tales or whatever. But he created those. Kirby created the New Gods at DC, and then in the early 70s, Jim Starlin and Roy Thomas created the Titans and created Thanos.
Oh.
As kind of a knowing ripoff of the New Gods. They liked what Kirby was doing over there. But Starlin did have an idea for a character like Thanos. And so Roy Thomas is like, make him look like Darkseid. That's cool. If we're going to steal the cool one. So make your own Darkseid.
Yeah, sure.
Then when Kirby created the Eternals in 1976, they were just completely separate. In fact, he didn't even plan for them to be in the Marvel Universe. Oh. But Marvel was like, I know we said you could do whatever you wanted to, but it's the late 70s. Marvel Comics are exploding. We want your things to be in our thing, so you have to put Marvel characters in your thing. And it's weird because the first 6 issues or so, it's this totally separate story about these human explorers who go to Antarctica and they find Olympia, they find the Eternal City, and the Eternals explain who they are and what's going on. And then after that, Icarus and the rest of the Eternals come to New York to explain who they are to humanity because the fourth celestial host is going to arrive and they want to explain to humans what's going to happen. You're going to be judged and we'll see if you live or die. And they're like, what? And I think Marvel comic books are in that story. He's like, do you mean comics? So it's like, wow, these guys are like the comic book heroes. They're like Spider-Man or whatever. But then later on, the Hulk appears in Eternals.
Oh, okay.
And ends up fighting the Eternals.
Okay.
Because they told Jack Kirby he had to use the Hulk. But Jack won that one because he made it a robot double of the Hulk that was created by the Deviants.
Oh my gosh.
So it wasn't the real Hulk.
That's amazing.
It's the kind of guy Jack was.
Yeah, he's kind of like, screw you, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah. That's kind of how he was.
Yeah.
So then later on, they retconned that Thanos and the Titans were an offshoot of the Eternals. They were Eternals themselves. And then they later included the Uranians in that as well. So, like,
interesting.
Suisan, the mother of Thanos, is a Uranian who came to live with the Titans and Elor.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I knew he was mixed up with this somehow, but I couldn't remember how.
Yeah, Thanos is an eternal deviant hybrid.
Jeez. I mean, I guess I could kind of see that because he's kind of monstrous looking and he's like...
Yes, and his mother tried to kill him when he was born. And later on, he killed her.
Yeah.
It's a weird story.
Yeah, well, great.
So anyway...
That would be Thanos' relationship with his mother, wouldn't it?
This ain't that.
No.
This is something else.
Yeah.
This is the work of Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
This is one of 3 projects that he had been contracted or agreed to do at Marvel. I believe the first was 1602.
I'm not familiar with that one.
In connection with some event that I don't even remember now, there was Neil Gaiman wrote a thing called 1602. It was a sort of superhero retelling of the disappearance of the Roanoke colony in Virginia. One of the most famous unsolved mysteries of history.
Okay, I don't know anything about it. I'll be completely honest.
Really?
Yeah. What was it about? I
didn't know we had to go this deep. Sir Walter Raleigh.
Yeah.
Established this colony.
Yeah.
Was it Raleigh? Yeah, it was Raleigh. Sir Walter Raleigh established this colony. Mm-hmm. He left his daughter Virginia behind. It was in Virginia.
Okay.
And he went back to England. This is 1585. He came back, 10 years later, because that's how travel worked back then. Yeah, sure. And the colony's gone.
Just completely gone. There's nobody left.
Empty, ghost town.
Okay.
And then on a tree was written the word Croatoan. And nobody knows what the word means.
I think
nobody
I
knows where they
heard
went.
about that. Yeah, okay. So, but there's myths about it and stuff like that.
Well,
right?
There's... X-Files fiction about it, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so in this reality, it is, and you'll notice a lot of the characters are like, Sir Walter Raleigh is like Captain Steve Raleigh or something like that, you know, and so he's in America. And I think in their world, like Dr. D, who was like a spiritual advisor and a cult advisor to Queen Elizabeth, is like Doctor Strange. So it turns out it's like a multiverse. It's an alternate universe where the Marvel heroes are in 1602 instead of in modern America.
I could kind of see that. It seems kind of Gaiman-y.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he did this, and I don't think he did a third one.
Oh, okay.
Because honestly,
well,
it's I don't know. Some people want to see a third one. Would it turn out as good as the last 2, which were not very good, and Marvel has done nothing with? Probably.
I mean, the thing with this, we'll get into it, but the way that it ends, it seems like it's going to continue. And then I talked to you about that, and I know that Gaiman doesn't continue it, but somebody else continues it.
No, Daniel and Charlie Knopf continue it.
Who?
Daniel Knopf is a writer. I think his name is Charlie. Charlie is his son, and they work together on stuff. He's known for creating the HBO series Carnival, which is a great watch. Notice I didn't say great series, because it is very disjointed, but it's an interesting idea. And they continued the story of the Eternals, and it's not...
You said it's not satisfactory.
Great. It's not very good.
It's not satisfying. Yeah.
No.
That's disappointing.
And it kind of messes things up even more. Now, you want to talk about messed up? We're all real excited that there's going to be an Eternals movie, right? So
yes.
I've got to see those Eternals in the comics. Well, Jason Aaron did an Eternals story. He brought the Eternals back last year and killed them all.
What?
Because now there are dark Celestials. Because Jason Aaron just can't stop ruining things. He's got to ruin everything.
Why are there dark Celestials? What?
Because the Horde, and I assume this is Annihilus' Horde, like ate a Sentinel. They're bigger than Sentinels.
Yeah.
A Celestial, and when it does that, then they turn into evil Celestials or something. So Loki is teaming up with the evil Celestials. Now, let's just get right into it. I like the idea of the Celestials, but Jack Kirby can just write that there are Jack Kirby and Stan Lee can write that there are giant beings like Galactus. There are giant beings like the Celestials. We don't. My hand is going like this towards the camera.
Yeah, right.
We don't know what they do. We'll never know what they do. And on a long enough timeline, one of them becomes a kid. And it's like, it's Kid Celestial. And he's like, I love these fruit by the foots.
Right.
Right?
Whoa.
It even kind of happens in this. I like the fact that you can't talk to Celestials. Ajax can talk to Celestials, but
right.
otherwise they don't have a
Ajax
voice.
is
Because if you can talk to something, you can understand it.
Yeah, right.
And what happens in the end of this? Makkari starts talking to Celestials. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
And you know what the dumbest thing is? In the Jason Aaron one, the Avengers manage to harness the Celestials' power, and they become giant Avenger Celestials themselves.
No.
Yeah, it's about the dumbest thing I can think of.
No, I don't like that
Somebody's
at
got
all.
to stop this guy.
Yeah, that's not...
So,
how is that compelling or interesting? I don't want to see...
it's not, but it's not... That's been Marvel writing for the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years. It's just... We know we have this amazing multiverse, draw from it. So, like, let's get Black Panther to use the gauntlet to stab Namor and explode him on a planet, which is kind of cool, to be honest. Or, let's have Apocalypse create an alternate timeline where the Apocalypse twins, fight Havoc and whatever's going on in Uncanny Avengers.
Sure.
And they're really just like, it's not just... oh no, the looter's back. Spider-Man's going to punch him again. Like, they're really trying to stretch things. But you reach this apotheosis of ideas, and I feel like there's nothing left. Like, the DC has got... I feel like when DC has Grant Morrison do the same thing and mash everything together...
Yeah.
And I feel like he leaves them out to do something in the new sort of reality he's created.
Yeah.
They never pick up on those things.
Yeah,
They never do.
right.
They'd rather have Dr. Light, rape a new crop of superheroines. But like they're doing this, they're crashing all their toys together.
Yes.
And there's just bits of plastic left.
Yes.
And there's just nowhere to go after you've become an Avenger Celestial. How do you have Jarvis get you tea after that? Like what?
You don't.
Where do you go?
You don't. I don't want a giant Iron Man.
Kill your heroes.
Oh boy.
Let's have new heroes.
Yeah. I mean,
What if Patriot was the new Captain America?
no.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, hasn't Cap had a good run?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, there are parts of this that I like.
Well, what happens in it? We haven't even talked about that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just complaining about Jason Aaron.
Okay, so basically, the Eternals are millions of year old beings, and they are on Earth, but most of them have no recollection, no memory of being Eternals. They think that they're regular humans. They think that they're people. And except for whatever reason, Icarus, he has his memories, or at least most of his memories, and he finds Makkari, who is now a med student by the name of Makkari, and he thinks he's just a crazy person. And so he just brushes him off and everything. But Icarus is trying to get the team back together because he realizes that something bad is going to happen if the team doesn't get back together. But he doesn't exactly know what that is. And I don't know. How far do I want it? Should I go? Basically, it turns out that, like, Icarus was right. But he gets injured and he's in the hospital, and Makkari, like, gives him over to these guys who are posing as doctors, but they're actually deviants, and, like, they kill Icarus as much as you can do that, which you can't really. But in the meantime, like, a bunch of the Eternals kind of get in the same room with each other, and they have like a... I don't know how much to give away. There's just so much going on. They connect with each other because there's somehow like some sort of a connection that Icarus is like hurting, and they have like a what did they call it, like a uni mind or something like that. And so it's like they get like flashes of their old life, or and especially Makkari, like, all of a sudden he's like, I think I can go really fast and I can diffuse this situation because Droog, who's there, who is an Eternal too, but he's kind of like a bad guy. He wanted it to just be a hostage situation, but like the guys that he hired, like, they're working from somebody else too, and they were gonna kill everybody.
Just break in here. None of that makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
This part is just a lot of the plotting in this. Like, I get that it's the machinations of millions of years of old beings who act at the behest of unknowable space gods should be confusing, but I had no idea what was going on with the hostages but not hostages or revolt or whatever, it's
a bit of a mess.
Have it start, have Druig just, kill whoever's in charge of the country and take over the country. Done.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He's got some plot or something, and it doesn't, none of it makes any sense, and none of it matters because he just becomes an Eternal at the end, and he's with all the other Eternals anyway, so who cares?
And he's got his country, and he's happy.
And Zurus is, the leader of them, but he's like one of the last to find, and then they find him, and he's like, yep, I'm Zurus again.
I know!
And then they make a deal with Druig, and it's like, why did any of that Druig stuff? And then like the topical stuff of like, oh, there's a superhero reality show. If you think that's going somewhere, wrong.
See, I thought that was going somewhere because they mentioned somebody else who they needed somebody like when Icarus and Athena gets her memories back and she's like the warrior of the group, right? And like Icarus is like, we need to get Cersei on our side because she's I think they referred to her as a changer or
shaper, shifter, something.
Yeah, right. And they mentioned a couple other characters that are also changers and
triple changers.
Yeah, and is it Druig? I don't know if I'm saying.
Yes, Druig and Legba.
Druig and Legba.
We don't see Legba.
I think.
Thank God.
Be
tough to sensitively portray Legba, I think.
Okay, because I was thinking, what if maybe she's not Legba, but like the superhero reality show, like the girl who like is dressed in pink who like helps. She's got to be an Eternal, right? She's got powers. I don't know.
Well, she's also from the 1800s or whatever.
Okay,
or that's what she says.
Okay.
So you figure that she could be an Eternal. She's the only one that sticks out of the superhero reality show cast, but not really.
Yeah,
who cares?
Okay. It was silly, and then like Cersei like never gets her memories back. Anyways, it turns out that the mastermind behind everybody losing their memories was Sprite, who is this Eternal 11-year-old, and he's kind of a brat, and he's a trickster, but he was sick and tired of everybody treating him like an 11-year-old, and he was tired of being an 11-year-old. So he created this huge plan that apparently took a lot of planning and a lot of years, and he did all on his own, more or less, where he was going to take all of their memories away and have them just be people who they, I forget the word that he used, but they call them mayflies or something like that because their lifespans are so short compared to the Eternals.
TikTok.
But yeah, he's kind of a prick, but I guess, and you're not happy with how what he did, but fast forwarding to I didn't like how they dealt with him at the end, but it's just my opinion.
But it's edgy.
I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
But edge.
Don't do something just because it's edgy. That's never a good reason to do something. Anything else major that I'm missing? Oh, Cersei is a party planner, and her and Mackay have a meet cute.
It's not really interesting or important, is it?
No, not really. But like, she doesn't remember. She doesn't have her memories back of being an Eternal by the end of it.
Yeah. So, just hearing you say all that makes me hate this miniseries.
Aww.
I feel like I've always been sort of indifferent to this miniseries, but now I actually hate it.
Okay.
Because
I didn't. That's not what I was going for, but okay.
Who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Who cares about any of this? In 7 issues, and it was supposed to be 6, and apparently Gaiman he wasted so much time with things like party planning and hostage situations and stuff like that he requested a 7th issue. And you'll notice that the 6th and 7th issues is where everything happens. Everything important, everything that he was hired to do, which is update the Celestials for the modern era. And does that mean, and he doesn't even, I guess if you use a dreaming celestial to alter reality, then you can do whatever you want, right? Which is what Sprite did, essentially.
Right.
But it doesn't really address, like, so did the 4th host come to Earth in 1976? Like, as far as they don't talk about it much, but up to this point in continuity, that was something that actually happened. So are we saying that didn't happen, or you condensed time, or you just made everybody forget about it? He doesn't really... He deals with that in that he says Sprite messed with reality, but we don't really get into the details of any of that. And that's just more interesting to me than whether or not Cersei's going to pay her roommate back or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, I get that they're trying to, if the goal is to get them all to, what's the goal? To set them up for an ongoing series in which...
Seemed like it.
The conflict is, okay, some of them still remember their human lives, or some of them aren't fully eternal. They're still human and kind of vulnerable. So it gives it creates drama, because there's no drama when you're Icarus and you're invulnerable, and even if you are somehow killed, you just come back in another body or whatever. Like, I get that you have to like make them compelling in that way, but it's not really what like the Noths do when they pick it up. It just gets more and more weird. And it should be weird because it's just regular superhero stuff. I don't know. I didn't like this.
So it's weird because like I feel like for the most part I liked it while I was reading it up until like the end. But if you had asked me like before we started talking about it, if I would have wanted to see more of
the fun
Gaiman.
stuff about having immortal characters is showing them in the past and showing them influencing things and
sure,
being mistaken for Makkari, Mercury, right?
Right.
Or Athena or something like that,
sure.
Or an Egyptian god or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, I hope I can pay my rent and watch this reality show. I know Cheetos. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And then like Sprite is just like this child star who has like a TV show and like is a musician and like somehow wants to do interviews,
which is just a riff on Justin Bieber, I guess. Because why would you want to? You want to just grow up and have a life, right? So why would you make yourself one of the most famous children on Earth? If the Eternals ever come back, they're going to go, hey, it's Sprite. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, right.
Makkari goes and visits Sprite because Icarus told him that he was an Eternal.
Yeah, exactly.
Which leads to him something? Why does he go back to the Dreaming Celestial? So he can like erase everybody's memory again? What's his plan? Because he puts himself in a position to lose everything that he has, which is exactly what happens.
Why does Sprite go back to the Dreaming Celestial?
Yeah, he takes Makkari back there.
He takes Makkari there, I think, he traps Makkari there somehow.
Right.
That was confusing to me.
Right, but what's his end game?
Somehow Sprite got out.
Right, but is his end game? There's probably a bit of dialogue I missed or I just forgot, but like he brings him back there, presumably, I suppose, to do it again, to make a Unimind and try to, just get rid of the Eternals or turn them back human again. But while he's there, I know that he's an 11-year-old kid, but he gets captured by the deviants, and his whole plan is ruined. His entire plan that he worked literally millions of years for is ruined.
I know.
Because he's stupid.
He is stupid.
And the deviants, they're working for the Eternals too.
I know.
Because Ajax hires them.
I know.
To basically kill Icarus so he can reboot and remember his history and stuff.
Well, that was
there's just no bad guy in it. There's no real conflict. What the conflict there is takes forever to start going. And all it's left with is a semi-interesting status quo, which is, a bunch of Eternals are in various states of eternalness. And there is Dreaming Celestial in San Francisco, which did show. I think the X-Men were in San Francisco at that time, so sometimes it showed up in like the X-Men and stuff like that. But like it's nothing.
Well, like at the end of it, they're supposed to go off and waken the other Eternals, the other 90 or so Eternals that are still think that they're human or whatever. We're supposed to go find them and make them remember, which could be interesting, but I don't know.
But and they literally just did that with Thor when Ragnarok happened in the comics around the time of Civil War, and then Thor came back, and then he had to go find Sif and Balder and all these other gods were just thought they were humans walking around.
Right.
So it's like, what?
Why are you're repeating yourself? That was another thing I didn't really like is like we don't see we didn't really get, I felt, maybe we did and I missed it. I felt like we didn't really get a good look at Ajax until he goes looking for Zuras. And like we saw flashes of Zuras and like flashbacks, and there was like one point where like he was living as a homeless person. Okay, fine.
Unhoused.
Yeah, and seriously, like it gives him money. So we've seen flashes of him before. We know he's important. We know he's probably related to the story. We just don't know how. I don't remember seeing Ajax at all before. I was like, who is this? Who is this person? Who is this character? What is happening? And like, okay, well, I've heard the name Ajax because we had the flashback of Sprite telling Makkari everything he did in his evil plan.
He's a huge part of the Kirby series. Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to have read the Kirby series to understand this, or, I mean, I would assume not, because a lot of people are going to come into this not knowing who the Eternals are, because Marvel hadn't done anything with the Eternals in a long time. Mm-hmm. They'd messed around with them for a while. I think Rob Liefeld tried to say that Cannonball was an Eternal at one point. You know,
because he's invulnerable while he's blasting.
my daddy helped me mine coal. I hope my daddy mine coal because my daddy mines coal, but he might not be my daddy. I might be an Eternal.
Was Icarus's daddy because he's invulnerable?
So it's I mean, they just haven't done anything with him, and this is 7 issues of not much to get them to a place where I guess kind of you could do something with them, and they don't. They hand it off to the NAFs or the NOFs. Sorry, that was Freudian because it was a bit NAF, but to the NOFs who, I don't know.
It's disappointing, and then
I can't wait for the film.
Zuras. I'm just gonna mention it really quick. Like Zuras, like he decides because he's the leader, right? So he decides that he's gonna take care of the Sprite problem. So he goes and he finds Sprite, and he's like, Sprite's like, whoa, don't like. And he's like, I'm not gonna mind control you. I'm not gonna do any mind stuff. And Sprite's like, okay, good. And then he's like, it's time to go, buddy. You know, it's to that big, whatever, because he can die now for some reason, because he's human, or I don't know, part of his wish, or I don't know. But, like, he just breaks his neck and kills him, and then leaves him on the freaking train. I hate it.
Neil Gaiman will do bad stuff to a kid. On the page.
Yeah, right. Let's be clear about that.
No, he kills kids. He's got a whole book about a dead kid.
I know. I don't like. I think that what Sprite did was bad. I don't think that he deserved to die because of it. And I think it would have been. I don't know. I mean, you could be mad at Zuras either way, but I think it would have been better if like Zuras had been like, "Oh, I'm not going to do any mind stuff to you." Talk to him for a little bit.
Plus, where did he come up with that? Because he is the leader of a society, and so he has to uphold laws, dole out punishment. But in that society, he's never done that because he can't. No one can be killed in their society, right? There is no capital punishment in their society.
Yeah.
So how did he just come up with, I'm going to break this little kid's neck? You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Yeah.
I get that they understand that, like, humans are mortal and all that, but they seem to have a detached kind. When like Tony Stark, and this is right around the time of the Civil War and the superhero registration. So Tony Stark has given them the 3rd degree about having to like register, and they're all like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, we are not a part of your world. We don't. We're not heroes. We don't do that. Like, we barely know that you exist half the time. So just like it's just like an edgy badass way to end that story. But as you can argue whether you think Xeris is a good ruler or not, but I just think as a ruler of a bunch of immortal people, he would be much more interested in like Druig. That's why Druig it's kind of similar to the Inhumans. Like, Maximus is always trying to overthrow Black Bolt.
Sure.
Why don't they just, let's just whisper in his ear and blow his head up? And it's like, well, because he's my brother and we are all that we have. We're a dying race, and so I don't want to kill a member of the royal family. It's kind of the same thing. Druig is always doing bad things, but they have to kind of keep letting him back in because you're their
part
family.
Of the family.
And he'll never die. You'll never die. You have to deal with this problem. So, all you have to do is just like, what else could Sprite do? Just let him live his 80-year life or whatever it is. It's not going to affect you. It's a blink of an eye for you.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, tell him you're not going to do any mind.
It's incredibly
crap.
cruel.
It is. And I don't think it's the punishment that he deserves either. Like, say you're not going to do any mind control.
Oh, he would try to do it again.
Yeah, well, I know you can't trust him, but like, say you're not going to do any mind stuff, and then just have him completely forget his entire life as an Eternal, and like he's a little kid, get him to an adoption agency. I don't know, find him some sort of parental figure. Maybe this is too much. Maybe this is too involved. But like, just let him then live his life as a human. And just forget the Eternals.
That would be a way to go.
I don't know. So yeah, I hated it. I was just like, why did this happen? Why this? And then like, Thena is like, Xeris is like, you can't keep the kid. He's a pet. And she's like, but your dog. And it's like, why are we having this argument? This is so stupid. And then he lets her have the kid eventually. And he's like, but he's going to die. And she's like, I know, single tear. And then we just move on. And it's like,
I don't know. I think that they should have a different perspective, and they should, they should be tough to,
write for?
To write for. They should be tough to understand. They should be slippery. They should be hard to grab, as a character. Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer's like that.
Sure.
Silver Surfer, I don't know if he's immortal, probably now that he's the Silver Surfer, but like, he's just got a different perspective, and he's not like doing pop culture jokes and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe that makes him, it's definitely like hurt him, I suppose, in the past, in terms of the readers like, empathizing with him, but
sure,
that's who he is. That's his character. There's a reason there isn't a Watcher ongoing series. Actually, there was. It's called What If, but that's a technicality. And so yeah, maybe you need to like make the Eternals funkier or whatever. But you tried to combine this like outside perspective with the kind of like edgy, badassery of aughts comics, Marvel comics. And so, yeah, you get things like that, or you get things like, I'm a doctor. I've been up for 30 hours. My girlfriend is now my ex-girlfriend. Oh, I'm going to watch some TV.
I know.
Said, what?
I know.
I don't like you. I don't like you. And you won't even be this character after the end of this miniseries. So why am I getting to know you?
I know.
It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Well, I guess one thing that is worrisome looking forward to the film is just there's so many characters in the Eternals, and there's so many characters featured.
Well, this
in
will.
the film.
I'll tell you right now. This will absolutely be the basis of the film, The Eternals.
Think?
Don't you think?
I guess I could see it.
They have shown
it's a way in.
They have shown visually and a Celestial in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. But I've done nothing else with that.
You mean like the Guardian head? That's like, what is the name of the planet?
Nowhere.
Yeah.
But you can't do the Eternals without the Celestials, and they know that.
Yeah.
And so this will be the introduction of the Celestials as well.
Yes.
And if you introduce the Celestials, you can just have like, oh, there's Exxon the Searcher, and there's, the one who wipes his butt or whatever. But But you, like anything, you have to have a point of entry character, right?
Yeah.
So their point of entry character will be the Dreaming Celestial. They will get Kate Blanchett or somebody to be the voice of the Dreaming Celestial. So, Makkari will talk to them, or maybe Ajax will talk to them. And that'll be like, I need to explain. It's hard for you to understand what a celestial is or whatever. Well, I know that we could probably use their energy to make big versions of ourselves, right? You can. Woo! Extreme.
Oh, my God.
They won't do that, hopefully, in the first movie. But that's what they'll have, right? And so if you've already got the Dreaming Celestial and you want to do... They'll do the old guard is what they'll do. They'll have a bunch of them in the modern day.
Yeah.
Some of them may or may not, because I know Sprite's in the film, so
Yeah.
they may or may not do the Sprite thing where they've been turned into humans, and then we'll see them like do a Matrix, call to adventure,
right.
You think reality is what you think it is type thing, and then we'll have flashbacks where they're like, I'm a Viking or whatever. That's what they'll do. It writes itself.
I know. I mean, yeah, I guess I can see it. They
Angelina Jolie will be throwing a spear or something.
Yeah, I know. They what do you think of the casting, like, overall? Do you think it, like, fits? I mean...
It's all over the place.
It is all over the place, and, I mean, they made the choice... I think they're going, for diversity, which I think overall is a good thing, obviously. But they took a lot of characters that are in the comics have traditionally been male characters and made them female characters. Like, I know... Ajax is that's Salma Hayek, and Makkari is going to be played by a woman, and Sprite is going to be played by a young girl. So,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I mean, it kind of matters if... Look, it's not my fault Earth is sexist, but it kind of matters if you want Makkari to be like the basis for Mercury.
Right.
The Roman god of commerce and speed or whatever.
Yeah.
So why is it a girl? It doesn't really matter.
Makkari, the actress who portrays Makkari, is also deaf. So I'm intrigued to see how they put that in there, and I hope that they do that sensitively.
No, slow down.
Yeah, right.
No, you're signing too fast.
That was the first joke that I thought of, which I hope that they don't do a whole lot of, because obviously you do want people who are hearing impaired to be able to, if she is going to be signing, which I hope she will be, be able to read it.
None of that really matters. What matters is, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are they being brought into the cinematic universe?
Right.
Other than just we've wrung out the Avengers. Otherwise, yeah, fine. I mean, you got Gilgamesh, you got all the other guys. It's fine.
I don't think that Zuras is in it.
That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but when I was looking at the cast of characters, I don't remember seeing anybody being Zuras. Druig is in it. It's
Barry Keoghan.
Yeah. So I'm he's gonna be a bad guy ish or turn bad. Sure, fine. I can totally see that. But yeah, I don't remember seeing Zuras, which I'm like kind of like, and from what I've read, it almost seems like they're trying to. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it seemed like they were trying to say that either Ajax or Icarus is like the leader. I can't remember which one. Of the Eternals. So
and the other thing about the Eternals is, for the Avengers, there is a long game present. I'm not saying that the Avengers have the best stories. A lot of their stories they can't do because they don't have a Captain Marvel. So there's no death of Captain Marvel. I guess that also means there's no Kree-Skrull War.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter, because look what they got. It's just a little joke, a little tag on the end of Avengers 2012, and 10 years later we've got the most successful movie ever made.
Yeah, right.
Like billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So there's a long game to the Avengers, and if you want the Avengers to continue, I think they're probably going to rest them for a while, but you could do the Kang stuff. We're pretty sure Kang's coming up, right? So you could do Avengers Forever, and you could do any kind of Kang storyline. There's no long game with the Eternals, ironically, because they've got one good story, and that is, oh no, the fourth host is coming to Earth. Remember Galactus? This is like 10 times as bad as that.
Right.
And that's it. And then you've got Neil Gaiman's miniseries that we just spent 45 minutes shitting on. So there is no long game to it. What do you do with them?
I think you have to think outside the box.
I think that's why they're putting Black Knight in it. They're like, this has to tie into the Avengers somehow, even though he hasn't been in the Avengers yet.
So tell me more. I know we've talked a little bit about Black Knight, but how would he, or how do you think he relates to the Eternals, or how does he relate to the Eternals?
I know he went out with Cersei.
Harrington. Okay,
that's it.
It's very tangential.
No, and in this miniseries, she completely downplays her connection to the Avengers. So
yeah, I know.
Who knows what there's anything to do with that? I don't know. There'll be a flashback scene where Kit Harington is in, like I said, old timey days.
Yeah,
and he's fighting probably against Cersei, but they fall in love or something like that.
Sure.
And then that'll probably be it. Maybe we'll show that he somehow came to the future, and then in a later Avengers film. Or, because at this point it doesn't seem like there's going to be a solo film with Kit Harington, but maybe in a later Avengers film we'll use that to have the actress playing Cersei also be in an Avengers
Gemma
movie.
Chan. Yeah. Who was in Marvel and Captain Marvel. She was one of the Kree soldiers in Captain Marvel.
Who, by the way, fine and all, good presence, good actress, I guess, but it's like, I'm all for diversity, but she ancient Chinese secret magic.
My goodness.
Do you know what I mean? Do you really want to put like an Asian woman in the exotic seductress sorceress role?
I see your point.
Why not just stick with Greek, right?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
And also then you're not reusing an actress who's already been in something.
Yeah, I know. Well.
So seductive, so mysterious.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, do you think if this had come out, I don't know how many years
when
ago.
When it was supposed to?
Like, do you think that Angelina Jolie would have been Cersei? I kind of wonder why. She seems like...
She was Cersei in Oliver Stone's Alexander. That's exactly what that character is.
Right. So it's kind of surprising that she's Thena, and I don't really get the sense, at least from this.
I don't think she'll be in it much.
Okay.
I know that she's like the big star, supposedly. Yeah. But I think that she will be more of like she's in this? Like Annette Bening's in Captain Marvel?
Oh,
I think it'll be like that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot. It's this huge concept.
Oh, it's a huge cast.
And
there is no
build up. There's no way
into it. It's not like one time Captain America, went to Greece or something and he met Cersei, and so there's
we haven't.
Chris Evans will be in it for a little bit. Like it's just congratulations, the Eternals, enjoy.
Well, and it's not even like you're saying. It's not even like we had a snippet, like little peek into the world of the Eternals in any of the previous films. Like even in any of what do you call it, the scenes after the
Thanos is an Eternal.
Well, that's true. Besides Thanos, like it's not even like the after credit sequences. None of them have been like, ooh, who's this character? What's going on here? So it's hard, like, because like with the Avenger film, by the time we got to that,
YouTube shorts.
No.
Weapon item 47. Hey, we gotta go. I got a call. There's a hammer in Nevada. Hail to the King.
YouTube?
I'm Ben Kingsley and I'm in prison. Remember all those little things?
No, I don't remember.
Little
them.
short film, the Marvel short films.
Why don't I remember those?
There were Marvel short films.
Okay.
And they kind of filled in information, and it wasn't really necessary. Clearly not, because you haven't seen them. But they starred people from the films, or sometimes other people. And yeah, there was a Peggy Carter one. It's like, okay, we gotta get Hydra or something.
Okay.
Do those.
Yeah. Seriously.
What happened to those?
Yeah, do those. Or like, do you think any of the Disney Plus series will have anything to do with the Eternals? Like, give us any way in.
Sure.
Like the WandaVision one or something like that. I don't know. I already know there's a lot of WandaVisions played, but so I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. It's just, yeah. I'm gonna see it. Be interesting to see what they pull off, but it's a lot.
It's a ton.
It's a huge honkin' celestial is what it is.
You know what's going to make it worse?
What?
Make it more complicated?
What?
Kieran Gillen and Esad Ribic.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Are doing a Eternals ongoing.
Comic.
Comes out this month. Or it's supposed to come out this month. It hasn't come out, so I don't know if it's.
I just saw a trailer for a comic because they make those now for it like earlier today, and I think it's either this month, next month, or January. So that's very helpful, but sometime soon.
Well, it was solicited for November.
Okay.
But we're leaving November here. There are no more Wednesdays in November.
No.
So I'm not exactly sure when it's supposed to come out, but.
Yeah, I know. And who knows if that... Do you think that'll be, like... Maybe that'll give us a way in to the movie?
It's Kieran Gillen. Isn't he going to F it up more than anybody possibly could?
Probably.
and introduce a bunch of teenage ones who are all effing each other?
Yeah, probably.
They can't have kids, which means more sex. I don't know. We'll see. It's not like the entire future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe rests on it, but I would not recommend this. I don't think it's important for you to watch to get the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like one of those guys, but I would just recommend reading the Kirby one. It goes for 13 issues. You really only need to read like the first 6 or 7 if you want to know about the Eternals. It just kind of goes off the rails, and Jack Kirby just has fun, just basically just cashing a check for the rest of the issues. But yeah, I would say go there, but not this.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe. I think like it initially got pushed back to like sometime in February. Maybe when that date rolls around, maybe we could read some of the Kirby issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah. To redeem our enthusiasm for the Eternals.
Renew it.
Renew it. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Not redeem. Another word.
Or just break its neck.
Or
on a train.
Yeah. Leave it there.
Let's dance in style. Let's dance for a while.
Well, that's it. We did it. Sadly.
We're done.
Energy low.
We need to replenish
like
our energy.
An eternal.
Our electrolytes.
You think it would go on forever.
Yeah, right.
Something that I don't like about, and I guess again, I crapped on Jason Aaron before, but he's just having what he thinks are great ideas, and he's just delving into the history and the lore of this comic line and franchise that he loves so much. So he's not a bad man or a bad person.
No.
But the Knopfs did this as well. As soon as their series picked up, they're like, let's get into like why they're eternal, and it's like, nope, doesn't matter. We don't care.
Oh my God.
I do not care.
No,
and
you're
it's like,
going way too far back.
Somebody and they break the eternal machine, and so now they are like they're still super tough, but they are vulnerable and they can die. They're mortal. It's like, don't care. Doesn't matter. They're called the Eternals. You don't take the spider out of Spider-Man. Now he's just man. You don't do that. It doesn't matter. We don't care. The Dark Eternals. Oh
no!
Yeah, forget it.
Nope.
But that's just that's what you do when you go on to a 60-year-old property and you're like, it's all planted. There's no spot to grow anything new. I sympathize.
It's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Maybe I don't know who's getting hired these days, but like maybe the people who are getting hired now are the people who can remix stuff. In the 90s, there were a lot of new comic companies. There were a lot of people trying stuff. So everybody who had an idea, he's got a trench coat. Let me finish. You don't have to finish. You got the job, right? Maybe you can't do that anymore. Now, like the Jason Aarons, the Grant Morrisons, the remixers are the star talents because they're the ones who, can find out that, oh yeah, Spider-Man's never actually met Tigra before or something like that. So we're going to do a Spider-Man Tigra thing.
Sure.
Oh, it's amazing. I don't know. But we're going to find out. Because we, too, are here forever. There's something else I like about them as immortal characters. They don't hate being immortal. That's kind of the immortal character
that's
thing,
true.
right? That's
Well,
like
Sprite
Dracula.
hates it, but
Dracula
everybody
always
else-
wants to die because
Yeah.
he's been alive for too long or whatever. And they like it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I don't. Because we're pretty much immortal. We've been here for a long time. And we're not going anywhere. So make us happier by contacting us on social media and saying hello on Facebook and Twitter, and also on our Discord. There's a link to it in the show notes. You can find us on your listening platform of choice. When you do, subscribe to the show, give us a rating and a review, because we'd really appreciate it. That's how our celestial overlords, the algorithms,
Yes.
which can't explain them. There's no way to put one on and then you become a giant algorithm. That's not how it works. So you got to give us a high rating. Give us 5 child broken necks.
Oh, come on.
Terrible. Don't do that. Give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. Stars like the Celestials.
There you go.
We'll be back next week to talk about something else. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.